I think most people dream about starting their own company, starting their own thing.
I didn't. No.
其实我不太相信自己创业以后有机会，因为我那时候蛮多自我怀疑的。
都很困难，每一件事情都很困难因为你前面一定都是墙嘛。
那当然，有时候你被推一下的时候，你可能是跌撞撞往前跑这样，但是只要没有跌倒或跌死，其实就是过了。
我现在开始有点不太能够想象任何其他类型的工作，就慢下来，其实我很痛苦。
我常常跟我妈妈讲说，妈，我跟你讲。以后我一定是不平凡的人。
I'm constantly searching for that next thing, next more exciting project to do.
Next big thing.
Next big thing, yes.
我的初衷很简单，初衷是有一群人可以做软体，然后来让这个世界变得不一样。
就是你只要你的 passion、你的 vision 是被认同的，我想这些我们都可以 make it work。
我有新的 idea。或者是我觉得新的对公司有价值，或者是对这个世界有价值的东西，我想要做。
我小时候就觉得软体可以改变很多事情，就也不懂为什么，但是觉得很多东西是让你从没有，然后透过你的手跟你的大脑，可以创造出你觉得可以实现的东西。
因为以前我们在做造型的时候，我可以一个个做，但就仅限于我做的人。但当我做一个品牌的时候，我希望可以把这样子的理念传达出去。让每一个孩子都可以很有自信，你才能够面对你生活里所有的这些挑战。就是如果你要说我傻一点，就是我愿意去做这个第一个往前走的。
我觉得大部分创业的心理素质都是在打拳击的时候建立，因为打拳击本身就是要一直不断面对恐惧，不管是练习很疲累的恐惧，或者是很强的竞争对手，然后拳打在你脸上，打在你身体上而已，然后你要克服那个恐惧之后，还要做出反应，所以那个反应的时间速度其实要在很短的时间就完成。我很享受那个到达的过程，对，然后我确定我要去了，我就会全力以赴，对，就是不要留任何遗憾。
就任何一间公司，它在创业的初期或者它早期的时候，它都是非常有使命感，非常想要达成什么东西。我个人对创业这个东西没有太多的希望，但是就是在这个哲学上面，我觉得新创跟创新就是一字之差。如果说有什么任务的话，我觉得这个就是我的任务，去不断的创造新的东西、新的价值。
One little thing led to another. We found some early funding, and that was enough for us to make the decision to quit our jobs and move to Taiwan.
Good enough for you to give up your full-time career?
That is correct. That is
Yeah?
correct.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
当初我的想法很简单，就是我要帮助孩子，孩子的笑容，然后还有我要做最好的商品，我要让孩子就是守护他们，所以我要把商品做到最好。就是很多东西是很单纯的信念。就当你看到这些孩子的眼神，我常常就觉得说，对，我终于就是我做对了，我要为这么多千千万万的笑容努力。
因为有了数位特效的这个技术存在，它才让我们能够讲到去开发漫威宇宙的这个布局，这种观影体验。因为这种规模的故事，在这个技术存在之前是不可能被拿出来的。所以当技术不断的突破的时候，我们就能够说更多不同的故事。
We definitely you know, take our creativity to the next level to try to create work that lasts. But as technology changes, your projects no longer involve lasting. It was more like what would make people click, and if it doesn't, it has to be switched out. I think it was a big shock, but we stuck around. We want to make a difference, hopefully.
Change the world for a better place.
Yeah.
我们透过这产品，它有很大部分未来如果真的长很大的话，它会创造一定程度的社会价值。我个人期盼的是，如果有机会，我可以再打造一个服务，不一定要赚钱，它就是可以真的对于整个社会或者是科技的演进速度，可以真的很有贡献。因为我不知道我会活多久，所以我改不了时间，但是我可以改变时间里面所发生的事情。
我其实是很想要让公司规模大到上市，然后去帮助别人。因为我受过别人帮助啊，我知道别人帮我的当下人，然后别人帮我撑过这个的过程，我会变成谁？我是在那一个被帮助的，所以我相信，如果我能力帮助别人，那就会有很多个成为例，那他又可以再帮助更多的人，那这世界就会越来越好。
我其实，在产业里面，其实一直是一个倡议者，也是一个 role builder， 更是个 game changer。这是这家公司非常有野心的地方。像我们这1年多，我们一直在倡议说，你不应该在使用者没有被授权的时候去追踪他的行为，然后进而投放广告给他。这个事情其实是不一定是要这样做的。那时候我们在倡议说，我们可以用别的方式去达成这样结果，是没有侵犯隐私的。去年可能都没什么人在听，今年到年底整个市场都在顺着我们的路数走，对吧？这就是你在做一个 game changer role builder， 那怎么改变？我做给你们看，这样，然后这个整个市场被扭过来的那种感觉很棒的。
进去，我们直接进去。
Starting from very early stage, like June and also Flora, and starting to have like players and also other like SparkLabs staff like start to join SparkLabs Taipei, and I shows everyone like without all the founders' support that we won't come this came this far until now.
当然，第一个很欣赏 Edgar 啦，哈，再就是说，就是他也是非常有热忱的在做这件事情。
Edgar 他非常的 passionate about helping companies。Flora 就是比较温暖的方式，这样子帮助我们，就是去在一些碰到瓶颈的时候，继续会想要继续有做下去的动力。
可以聊很多我们以后还可以做什么，我们的人生还可以做什么，我们还有什么东西是可行的。
Edgar, being a very busy person, he still puts in a lot of time with us. Yeah.
Pretty impressive. I don't know where he finds time.
他是站在我们这边一起，等于是多了一群同事。
他可以说是，很认真的去了解你的公司跟你的产品到底在做什么。
千万人都不相信你自己相信的那种孤独是很难受的哈。但是，你偶尔遇到一些也相信你的人，你就会觉得有支持的力量。其实当初 Edgar 也是扮演一个这样的力量。
我觉得台湾有 SparkLabs 这样子的团队是非常感人的事情。
Well, SparkLabs is definitely it's not just an investor, it's a partner.
SparkLabs 在台湾已经成立营运3年。我们在过去这3年里面，我们投资加速了超过40几间的新创公司，里面超过80%是台湾的新创。然而在去年，我们已经2个新创获得出场，包括 JustKichen 在加拿大上市，包括 ParseMe 被其他的大的新创收购。台湾其实新创是具备有潜力的，尤其是在早期的新创。我觉得在早期新创，我们要用的概念，真的不是用几率跟概率来看哪些新创会成功。 反而是要用灌溉的概念来想，我们在这一片的土地上面，我们如何透过不断的灌溉、不断的施肥，有机会让一些种子长成大树，或更甚至有更多的大树能够被孵化为土地环境。所以做这件事情不单纯只有 SparkLabs 的功能，也更多需要包括政府、包括大企业、包括创投，大家共同的努力跟支持，才有机会让台湾的新创生态圈更加的蓬勃发展。这台湾的未来是具有无限想象空间的。在疫情之下，有很多台湾的骄傲，其实不断的输出海外市场。所以新创呢，我鼓励这个是最好的时刻。那 SparkLabs 会永远在这边陪着大家持续发展，鼓励大家 Dream Big, Go Global。
Happy New Year! Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to SparkLabs Taipei DemoDay 6. I'm Edgar Chiu, the co-founder and managing partner of SparkLabs Taipei. You know that the world is driven by tech startups. And all those big companies used to be a small startup when they just started. So it's super hard to start a company. In the real world, when we say, hey, there's companies that got the first mover advantage, I interpreted that into, I think they got the first mover challenges. It's never easy to start a company. We know that. 10 years ago, I joined GoGoLook as a COO and helped Who'sco to expand to global market from day one. At that time, we didn't know what to do. We don't know who to ask. We don't know what's the right measurement to measure a company, whether that's successful or not. But because we have a very solid team, so we get through all the obstacles. That's very challenging, but we don't have other options. I remember the time that we did all the overnight work and also shopping around for the coffee shops during weekend. We know that we got instant noodles as our food just to try to save our money, to save our time. We all remember those instant noodle moments. And also more importantly, those lonely nights, those weekend coffee shops, and also all the rejections from big companies are just entrepreneurs' daily lives. Even like today, we also still having that kind of spirit. We all got suffered once in our lifetime. The very terrible traffic, taking the transportation, by taxi or high-speed railway. We also got suffered by very bad user experiences, very slow internet speed, very complex working model. We all got those suffered. Everyone knows that, but only a very few people take action, try to solve it. Not even mention, even less people can insist to solve that for years, and also to overcome all the first mover challenges. We want to make a difference. We want to make the change. So therefore, we started SparkLabs Taipei. 16 years ago, on this stage, CPC building, I teamed up with Jeff, who's the founder and CEO of GoGoLook here, that we participated a case competition called ADCC case competition. We won the champion, and that was 16 years ago, the seed, when that time that was planted. So you never know that maybe the person sitting next to you might be your partners for your future startups. I know how hard it is to start a company. We also know how hard it is, how lonely it is to start a firm. So we want to help founders to be less suffering. We want the founder to pay more attention to something that's important. By meaning say that would be understand your users, grow your markets, acquire business, and also raise more capitals for your companies. Those are the fundamental to start a company. Because of that, we founded SparkLabs. SparkLabs Taipei is a venture capital fund together with an accelerator try to help founders and created by founders. We support data-driven startups to expand their business internationally. We work with the founders for them to look for product market fit, for their business development, grow the market, and raise the capital right on the demo day, like today. So, starting from 2018 until now, within 3 years, we already supported, which means by investing and accelerated for more than 43 startups. Probably to say that 80% of those startups are founded by Taiwanese entrepreneurs. So here's some of the recap of our previous alumni that what they shared in 2021. Influential, the micro-influencer marketing platform that from batch 1 that closed their Series A round by DCM Ventures, a very well-known top-tier ventures globally. When the founder, Alan, joined our program, I remember that was like a team of 3. Right now, it's a team of nearly 50. We are very proud to be its first investor. FundNow, also from batch 1, recently closed their Series B funding with $15 million. ParseMe from batch 2, a cybersecurity also data collecting platform that they last year that they got acquired by Gemini Data, which is backed by 6 tags. That break the record of being the fattest startup, B2B startup that got acquired in Taiwan. And we are very proud to say we are their first investor and also their only investor before its acquisition. JustKichen from batch 3, the largest cloud kitchen right now in Taiwan. I still remember that when it's just a team of less than 10 people, it's like 2 years ago before the COVID, that the company also established their first satellite kitchen in early last year. It's actually 2 years ago, and right now they already have like 20 satellite kitchens. And they went public last year on Toronto Stock Exchange. And we are also very proud to say we are their first investor. Pickup from our batch 4. They closed their Series A round with $15 million mid of last year. It's very speedy that they closed their Series B with $37 million just like last month. So the company also grew very fast. We are proud to say we are their first Taiwan investor. Darren closed over $100 million that backed by Foxconn, Sequoia, Qualcomm Venture, and also a lot of well-known investors as well. Active Arcade from batch 5 closed their Series B round with $25 million that also being very popular and also especially under the global pandemic. That people play with it, kids play with it, that people love it. Those are just some of the examples of our alumni. What we are trying to say is SparkLabs Taipei is mainly helping the companies from Taiwan, or if you try to lend your business to Taiwanese market, we are the one you are looking for. And we are the one that can help you grow to the next level. 3 years ago, I founded SparkLabs Taipei, at that time with a heart that tried to help Taiwanese startups to expand faster. That was like the welcome dinner for our batch 1. I believe the future of Taiwan will be in startups. We are happy to announce we're gonna open our second office in southern Taiwan this month. We are expanding. We can come this far all because we have a very strong team behind. We tripled our team last year and right now grew to a team of 10. And we're gonna keep growing because as we back more founders, as we grow our network, support more of our alumni, our team is also grow. At SparkLabs Taipei, we always leverage the mentor network to help us to gather their experiences and knowledge to coach founders how to move faster, how to avoid those mistakes. So we also want to leverage the demo day opportunity to bring the brilliant speakers to share their knowledge with you. Right now, the NFT, Web3, and also crypto is very hot nowadays. So we want to leverage this opportunity to invite Kevin Lin, the co-founder of Meta Theory, and also the co-founder of Twitch, to share about his latest startup that's gonna be moderated by Samsung from Bloomberg Taipei. And you know, not just crypto, but because of the global pandemic, that right now we are sitting at home eating a lot of like food delivery services. That's right. I think the dining experience gonna be revolutionary. So for the second panel, we invited also a star panel that we invited the Michelin 2-star chef, Florence, from Robuchon, and also like the Richie Lin from Mumei Hospitality Group. We invited Jason from JustKichen, the largest like dark kitchen platform in Taiwan. That's gonna be moderated by Jerry Cho. So I hope you enjoyed today's setting and also our invitation for those speakers. I hope you can learn something. Everything right now goes digital. Not to mention, e-commerce are booming. So how can you provide a better user experience on all those e-commerce platforms? How can you leverage AI as a brand owner to attract more users? How can you raise more like higher conversion rate for your platform? And not just shopping online. At home, not just eating JustKichen, we also watch a lot of Netflix and also Disney Plus films, and also including all those movies. But right now we cannot fly, right? We cannot do cross-border transportations. So filmmaking, how can we improve that? Those are all the challenges that generated or under the global pandemic. But today, you're gonna hear the solutions to the questions I just mentioned. Batch 6 started last year, and we selected the 7 startups that are gonna pitch today. Those startups including Amazing Talker, AU, Baby Cool, Dip, Glassbox, HK Decoman, and also Infinity Soft. You're gonna listen their business ideas and also how they grow their business. We can't come this far without our investor and also our supporters' help. So I want to thank CDBC, 104, Bravovia Capital, Paragon Investments, and all of our LPs' support to back us. I also want to thank National Development Council, Startup Island Taiwan, Taiwan Tech Arena, MOST, and also MOEA, GCamp, Deloitte, Taiwan Law, Brian Huang, and also other sponsors' support to support us that we can host this event and to support all the founders that can grow even faster. So sincerely, thanks for all your support to Taiwanese founders. This is my favorite quote. I always say that it takes a village to raise a child. It also takes a village to raise a startup. We should gather together by government, investors, big companies, and startups. Let's get together and welcome more like-minded partners to join us to grow the ecosystem together, to make the village more meaningful and powerful. As I always say, dream big, go global. It's SparkLabs Taipei Demo Day 6. Without further ado, let's get started! I'm Eric Cho, the co-founder and managing partner of SparkLabs Taipei. Adopting AI is a trend, and it becomes like a must. Everyone knows that, but no one knows how to do it. We know all those AI applications, but we don't know whether there's a platform that can gather everything together and to make AI works. Infinity-Soft got a solution. So without further ado, let's welcome Wenyu from Infinity-Soft.
Hi, I'm Wen Yu, co-founder and the CEO of InfinitySoft. Imagine if you are a CEO, you've heard a lot of benefits of AI, and you want to do it, but how? Well, you are not alone. A real case from our client. A manufacturer of medical supplies made a defect detection AI model to improve the production accuracy from 80 to 97%. Increase the efficiency by 21%. And reduce the cost of 15 laborers per line. Wow, it's amazing, right? So they want to apply it more to all the production to make more money. However, the reality hits. The implementation is challenging. It took them 6 months to complete one model on one product. But they have hundreds of products. How much time should I spend to fully adopt AI? Not just in manufacturing. It happens in semiconductors, healthcare, finance, energy, transportation, and more. Some elements are essential for AI project: data, software, infrastructures, and APIs. It's hard to understand the complex dependency among each other. It makes the hardware utilization rate low, the whole process too difficult to manage, and the overall project implementation impossible. We, InfinitySoft, are here to help. Our product, AI Stack, provides a well-integrated environment to self-service for our IT admins and AI developers. We enable the machine learning processes that integrate all possible tools and workflow instructions in an AI project. On top of that, a user-friendly interface helps our client to operate the resources allocation and the machine learning progress. Our expertise in AI and the patented resources management techniques to fulfill the needs of managing AI DevOps. That's most AI developers desire. AI Stack, the deployment becomes 100% transparency. The GPU utilization rate boosts from 30% to 90%. Sharing the resources to 10 times more AI developers. And cutting the preparation time from 2 weeks to 1 minute. Our business model is B2B. In 2021, we acquired 25 customers from various fields and completed over 50 POCs within a quarter. Our retention rate more than 80%. In Taiwan, our distributor is the top-listed IT Disty 01 Tech. 15 certified channel partners work with us to make an AI Stack become us the leading IT AI platform in Taiwan. We have overseas partners in Japan, China, India, Malaysia, and South Africa to expand our business globally. Together, we create a robust ecosystem around AI Stack. It's just a beginning of our global expansion. Here, I'm proud to announce that the Infinitisoft has been officially certified as Taiwan's first NVIDIA Solution Advisor Partners. And now, more than half of NVIDIA GPU systems install AI Stack. Furthermore, Tier 1 partners also collaborate with us. The AI market is huge. The global GPU market is valued at $20 billion in 2019. And is projected to reach $200 billion by 2027, growing a CAGR of 33.6%. Our goal is to penetrate 30% of the market. We doubled our revenue to $1.5 million last year. We expect to grow 5 times in 2022 and 10 times in 2023. We are a strong team in software engineering, global marketing, channel sales, and product management. We are backed by SparkLabs Taipei and 01 Tech, setting us for a rapid global expansion and outreach to a broader channel network. We are scaling our business and team, expanding AI Stack ecosystem. Welcome to join us. It's time to infinity and beyond. I am Wenyu. We are Infinitisoft. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Flora, the Program Director at SparkLabs Taipei. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to come to Demo Day 6 again. Thank you. So today I want to share a little bit about how my learning experiences. So I was very fortunate to have a personal tutor when I was a kid to learn English. So my tutor, he was not a professional teaching by training. But he was very good at telling stories. He's very good at sharing the cultures and histories. And we had a lot of the conversation and speaking during the session. So we spent the Saturday afternoon, every Saturday afternoon in the 3 years. And then if you ask me how much I learned in the 3 years, I can't really tell. But one thing that is for sure is I think for those 3 years actually built up my confidence and interest in learning English. So I was wondering whether my learning experiences everyone can actually have the same experiences. Unfortunately, I think it's a little bit difficult back then because a lot of the time you have the time limitless, or sometimes you have time zone differences, or sometimes it's actually about the price. But now with technologies, I think those issues can be resolved. So the next thing I'm going to introduce you, they're actually an online tutoring platform. So their core technology and their operating models, which is tutor-centric models that can unleash tutors' teaching quality and also their income potential. So now, a lot of the times, a lot of the students can easily find their teachers on their platform. They expand very, very quickly. They have their model to test the market, to expand and scale. So if you are the investor today and you're looking for good deals, please pay attention in the next 10 minutes because they're gonna amaze you. Let's welcome amazing talker.
Hi, I'm Sean, the CFO of Amazing Talker, an online tutoring marketplace to match tutors and the students. The EdTech market is huge. It has been constantly growing for many years and will reach over $400 billion in 2025. It's an enormous market, but still with tremendous unfulfilled needs. Most of the existing services are not flexible enough for either tutors or students. For tutors, they have no control over their market value, and thus not getting fair compensation. For students, it's difficult to match with the tutors who can fit their diversified needs, especially for the beginners. And the quality of tutor is inconsistent. You might be curious who can solve both tutors and the students' problems at the same time. A main talker is the answer. The process of our solution is simple. Let's go to our website to see how it works. Choose the tutor, book a lesson, and learn online. Just few steps and a few minutes. You can use the most efficient way to learn with the tutors from all over the world. Sounds easy, right? So what's our secret sauce? It's all about our core technology and the algorithms that provide unlimited income potential for freelancers. For tutors, we design a series of mechanisms to achieve this. For tutors, the first one is a regressive commission model. The more tutors learn, the less commission we charge. Let me give you one example. A super tutor can earn more than $15,000 per month without any commission fee charged. It's amazing, right? It makes the tutors willing to fully dedicate themselves to our marketplace. And the second one is a mentoring program. The top-rated tutors can be the mentors of our other tutors for sharing their know-how and gaining additional compensation. For students, the first one is intelligent recommendation. The students will be matched with the most suitable tutors in less than 30 seconds. And the second one is personalized learning. Tutors will provide the tailor-made learning plans instead of just standard ones. We use this creative mechanism to let the tutors are incentivized to provide higher quality to gaining higher compensation. And the students can enjoy the personal learning journeys and to have the better quality service. We have been growing fast since 2016. The GMV we achieved in 2021 is over $40 million. And the CAGR of our GMV over the past 5 years is 6 times. Now, we are the #1 online tutoring marketplace in Taiwan and Hong Kong. And we have 1.2 registered students who come from over 190 countries. And we have 4.5 million lessons have been booked. And 60% of GMV is from overseas. And the story is going on. We are expanding rapidly in terms of market categories and subjects. We are accelerating our business in 6 primary markets, including the US, Spain, France, China, South Korea, and Japan. Other than languages, most subjects as K-12 and music are on our marketplace already. And of course, more on the way. We can achieve this. With this expansion plan, we are going to double our GMV in 2022. We can achieve this all because we have a strong team behind. Our co-founders, Ebner and Ame. Ebner, the CEO, was a top sales at Tutor ABC. I'm Sean. I was a venture capitalist before joining American Talker, and I understand how valuable American Talker is. We are a team of 100 with transparency and brand management as our company culture. All the team members are giving their full play to their talents. We are backed by SparkLabs, CDIB Capital, and Alibaba Entrepreneur Fund. With more international supporters, our future is limitless. We are American Talker. We are aiming to help everyone find their stages to play and change the definition of learning and teaching. Join us, be American Talker together. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joe Hay, and I'm a founding and managing partner at 886 Studios. We are a new venture studio with partners who are all entrepreneurs ourselves. There's a few of us in the audience here today. And we're passionate about helping Taiwan startups through a human and user-centered approach to product creation. So through my own experiences as a designer at IDEO and having started my own company such as Orbit Baby, I've seen how powerful this design thinking approach can be to achieving what I like to call product user fit. So as Taiwan startups continue to gain strength in software and services, I think design thinking will be one of the most important ways that they can succeed and grow fast. That's why I'm excited today to introduce DIP, a startup that I really think really understands its users and customers and builds tools that really helps them solve problems. So DIP has built a SaaS platform that helps brands quickly and easily build high-quality visual campaigns. Founders Jennifer and Mikhail are experienced designers, and you will really be able to see that because they've built a very innovative MarTech platform that is super responsive to the daily needs, daily workflows that designers and marketing staff face all the time. We were certainly very impressed to see how thought through their user experience is, and I think you would see that as well. And it's very obvious why they've been already able to work with leading companies such as Taiwan Rakuten, L'Oreal, and Cetaphil. So without further ado, please welcome DIP.
Hi, I'm Jen, co-founder and CEO of DIP, a SaaS for online brands cross-channel visual creation. Prior to founding DIP, my co-founder and I worked as designers at top New York City agencies. Now, a designer's creativity can have a lot of different applications. One day, we were designing poster art for Netflix shows. And for the rest of the week, we were executing banners that looked like this, which require copying text from a spreadsheet and pasting them into a pre-existing design. From there, it's endless rounds of reviews and revise, or in other words, a waste of company resources. Needless to say, when a company tries to compensate for such wasteful process by hiring even more people, it winds up creating more waste. This waste means an increased spending, an increase in the amount of cross-departmental communication, leading to a fraction of planned campaigns being completed. All these inefficiencies prevent a business from making more money. This design inefficiency is a challenge faced by at least 3 million e-commerce businesses worldwide. making it a $90 billion problem. While the usual suspects in the design space focus on perfecting the design experience, the design inefficiency problems are left unsolved. And that's where DIP comes in, a design automation solution. We solve this problem by organizing teams to work in collaboration, where designers create layouts on our platform, and non-designers use our automation features to populate those layouts with content. Together, to create multi-product campaigns for any size and any marketplaces, quickly and free of errors. Such team organization cuts down manual labor by half, improves work precision by a factor of 3, to double the amount of campaign delivery. All this directly contributes to growing a business's revenue. Let me show you how this works for one of our clients. They start off by uploading one key visual. Our platform breaks the visual down into separate elements, which can be independently batch populated with the use of a spreadsheet. With the content populated, the elements are reassembled and resized for all necessary sizes and platforms. And that's it. The team has just created a multi-size, multi-product campaign ready to run in no time at all. Our solution is trusted by major marketplaces and local e-commerce enablers to help global brands effectively sell thousands of products across multiple channels. And we have a monthly subscription plan caters to businesses of all sizes to easily scale with your growth. Our go-to-market strategy is to establish partnerships with major marketplaces. And just recently, we've partnered up with Momo Shopping, the #1 marketplace in Taiwan, to empower their merchants with design automation. We've acquired over 100 merchants and onboarded more than 20 new customers. All that in less than 10 days. Since launching our platform exactly a year ago, we've grown from one key account to now working with more than 100 brands, and 10x our revenue to reach $65,000 in annually recurring revenue. But our solution for the design efficiency challenge is just the tip of the iceberg. Our platform sees hundreds of design creations every day, and we're turning all that first-party design data into the largest visual trend database in the industry. Speaking of first-party data, we're combining our design data with online sales data to help brands generate more revenue with performance-driven designs. With 3 million brands actively selling online, the time to deliver a solution that achieves both design efficiency and effectiveness is now. And DIP is primed to take full advantage of this opportunity with our expanding marketplace partners and growing performance-driven design features to reach our goal of 5 million annually recurring revenue in 2 years. We're backed by Expara Ventures and SparkLabs Taipei, and our diverse team has domain expertise and technical experience in design, software engineering, and machine learning to not only realize our vision of AI design, but to scale this incredible opportunity internationally. We're rapidly scaling our business and growing our team. So, if you believe in our vision of personalized and performance-driven communication, please connect with us. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alan, founder and CEO of Influential. So I have been working in the digital marketing field for over 15 years. I was the head of Google AdSense team at Hong Kong, Taiwan. So during that time, I learned that it's never been easy for a marketer to reach their target customers at the right time through the right way. So especially nowadays, you know, like people pay more and more attention to their privacy issue. So people close their cookie tracking, so the marketers has been more trouble on tracking to their customers. So when AU tells me like they can do tracking and they can do marketing without cookies, I was like, wow, it's been amazing. So let's introduce AU, who help us to track your right target audience at the right way, at the right timing. Let's welcome Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder and CEO of Our Intelligence. We provide marketing solutions for e-commerce and retailers. COVID-19 has accelerated digital transformation. Shopping behavior has changed. The global e-commerce market reached $5 trillion in 2021. But the booming e-commerce market has big challenge. Privacy policies, such as GDPR, CCPA, makes cross-device and cross-channel tracking no longer effective. It makes the higher customer acquisition cost, lower conversion rate, and harder to grow your loyal customer. Let's pause and rethink. Do we really need third-party cookie data to understand user intentions? Yes, it still can be done, and AU has made it. Our AI marketing platform, our AMP, we provide all-in-one marketing solution to help our client to save marketing budget and drive more revenue without third-party cookie tracking. And how does it work? We call it product understanding. Our AI analyzes our client's product information. One product can extract up to 10 meaningful text. Let's take this client, for example. They sell clunky sneaker. Our AI not only extract the meaningful text from basic information, like features, like brands, it also extracts the meaningful text from external information, like social media, like shopper reviews. And then how we use those meaningful texts? First, we do ACL automation. We combine those meaningful texts with our keyword database to represent a specific search intent. Then we connect our text with products to create thousands of pages to boost it to the top of Google search result page. Let's check it. We achieve ACL automation. We help our customer to acquire more traffic from Google. Second, when our text connect with shopper journey, we can easily detect and understand user intent real time. For example, the shopper tag, click, t-shirt, and glasses both have the shared tag of light, quick strike, and running, so that we can understand he might want to buy a socks with light, quick strike tags for running purpose. This technology can apply to all kinds of recommendation tools, from site search, from pop-up, product recommendation, and tag recommendation. Finally, we do automatic personalized messenger. When our tag connects with clients' first-party data. We can put those alt text on clients' consumer by analyzing shopping history. Then we can send personalized message through EDN, SMS, and Line. Is it hard to integrate? No. Our has pre-integrated with major e-commerce platform. Just in 2 weeks, our client were able to kick off and run. So to recap, our AMP is an all-in-one marketing platform. We help our customer to increase more traffic from SEO. We improve shopper experience through site search and recommendation. And we help our client to grow their loyal customer by personalized message. All can be done without third-party tracking cookie. This is one of our customers. Their annual sales revenue over 20 million USD. We increase their SEO traffic. We provide and we help them to have better dwell time and conversion rate through site search and recommendation. And this client, they did performance test. Guess what? We are not only outbid other market tool, it also increased 20% revenue growth. We bring outstanding results in hundreds of customers. Because of that, we have received global recognition from Japan, US, and Taiwan. Where and I will go next? Global market size is huge and still growing. Huge potential for us. Second, I will continue to iterate our product. Now we are in AI for e-commerce. In the short term, we will enter AI for retail to help our retail client to improve their in-store shopping experience. In the long term, we will enter AI for cross-domain. Retail is a big ecosystem. We want to help our clients partner to achieve their business goal. We have proved high growth in Taiwan and Japan, and we are confident to drive our revenue to 100 million in 2025. All but be done should have a strong team. Our core team comes from top-tier software company and academic institution. And with our strong investor and consultant from Japan and Silicon Valley, I will continue to aim high and be better. Our vision is loud and clear. We want to democratize AI for all business solutions to build up a better world through AI. We are also looking forward to working with visionary VC and CVC from Japan, Korea, and Singapore. Please feel free to contact me. Nihongo daijoubu. Let's rock it.
Good to be back on stage. So coming next will be the fireside chat with Kevin and Samson. Everyone knows Kevin is the co-founder and former CEO of Twitch, and he now is having his own startups again that's called Meta Theory. So coming up, we'll talk about Metaverse, Web3, and also crypto to take you guys to explore the new world. So let's welcome Kevin and Samson. Let's give them a big pause.
You're doing okay. Thank you all for coming to talk to us today. Everybody here will know Kevin here as the co-founder of Twitch. So Kevin, you achieved the goal of all founders. You made it out the other side. You did okay for yourself. You were investing, you were watching a lot of YouTube. You then decided to return to the life of a founder and launch Meta Theory. Why did you do this?
Let's see. Okay, so I left Twitch last November, so just over a year ago. Came to Taiwan with my parents, largely to escape COVID and give them, some reprieve from that experience in San Francisco, and essentially started to feel after 6 months like I was kind of a waste of space. Like I wasn't doing anything interesting. I wasn't contributing to anything meaningful. And just got the itch again. A lot of conflating factors. I think, partially I missed my friends in the games industry. I missed working with creators. I missed doing something. I missed working with a team. I think that was the actual core of it, was I missed working with a group of people with some purpose, whether, completely arbitrarily made, and decided to try to do something and started to just think through, what have I always wanted to do? And there were two things that kind of squished together. One was I've always wanted to make a video game. The other was I've always wanted to make an anime. I'm a huge anime fan. And I had these two ideas brewing in my mind for years and decided to squish them together as one company. Convinced one of my best college buddies to join me, and then a former coworker from Twitch as our CTO to join, and a bunch of other friends to join that I've worked with in the past, or actually some of which I recently met here in Taiwan, to start something new. Decided on Web3 gaming, blockchain, because I'm fascinated by the space. Think it's a good opportunity to rebuild something better for all of us through the internet. And particularly interested in Taiwan because I love Taiwan. My family's from here. I feel very connected to the space. I feel there's very talented, incredibly talented people here. And so, yeah, thought I'd give it a shot.
All right, so what is Meta Theory and what are you really trying to achieve?
So Meta Theory is the easy descriptor, thanks to Silicon Valley, is it is a Web3 game company, which means we are a game company that builds on top of blockchain. I think the term is a little bit confusing for a lot of people. It's maybe even just overcomplicated in itself. We're just building video games that use a different data architecture that allow for ownership of in-game assets and ownership of the coins and so on, and things that you earn by playing these video games. But at the core, we're an IP game company, right? Building on the blockchain technology. Yes, we have to have expertise in the blockchain. We have to have engineers that can build on the blockchain. But at the end of the day, the experience we are trying to create is fun, engaging gameplay built around a universe, a story that develops over time.
So that sounds like one of the big buzzwords in blockchain, crypto, and gaming right now, which is play to earn. Is this a play to earn?
We're aiming to build this, yes. Very, very subtle difference. We like to think of it as play and earn, as in you can play at the core. That's the most important part of it. There's not the two mechanism is a little looser in the sense that we're focused on good gameplay at the core, engaging social experiences at the core, with these earning mechanisms that you can create value for yourself over time, or you and your friends over time as you play these video games, versus a lot of there's this gap period, so to speak, where people are transitioning from building in what Web 2 versus Web 3, which is sort of this halvesy way. We're sort of stuck in this position as well, where you're building on top of these new sort of financial systems of crypto. So a lot of the games that are being built are first decentralized finance protocols, as in they have you exchange fiat for a token, you stake that token, you can farm for more tokens, you can lend those tokens, et cetera, and on top of that is essentially a graphical interface that is fun in some cases, not so fun in other cases, but the whole purpose is to participate in that decentralized protocol for finance. Ours is gameplay first, earning mechanism on top of that, right? Ideally for us, we're trying to build long-term sustainable token design so that it's, it grows steadily over time. It's carefully planned. To be honest, we don't no idea what we're doing. We're figuring it out as we go. We're talking to a lot of economists and political scientists and so on that sort of understand how these systems have been built in the past. But a lot of what's being built today is very short-term thinking. And in fact, most of the most of the economies that you see in crypto now do not function like real world economies. As in, if you think of money as a commodity, which is erroneous, by the way, but a lot of people think of it that way. Let's use steel as an example. When the price of steel goes down, what happens? Typically, construction goes up. People build more cars because the price of materials is lower, so the demand goes up. When the price goes up, the reverse happens. In crypto, they don't really function that way. And so you don't really see that behavior. When a price goes down, oftentimes that's related to activity going up, as in more people are generating tokens in these games, and so the price decreases, and so inflation, there's a huge inflationary problem. When the price goes back down, you'd think people would start to do more stuff, but in fact that's not what's happening. And so how do you design a system that is more reflective of the real world so that when people go into it, they have a better grasp and understanding of it because it more reflects real life? And I think you're starting to see systems that look like that, but they're not quite there yet.
So you briefly touched upon it there. So NFTs in gaming are not universally welcomed. There was huge backlash when Ubisoft revealed Quartz, its NFT platform to buy and sell equipment in Ghost Recon. Serious gamers already invest a lot of time in a game, but when players are incentivized not to have a good time first, but to make as much money as possible, essentially the economy comes first and enjoyment and artistic value often come second. Is there a risk that developers are putting themselves first ahead of their gamers?
Oh, sure. I mean, the traditional publisher model is quite, it's quite greedy. It's quite expensive of a system. So if you think about the last time there was a paradigm shift was going from premium box sales to free to play. That took a decade to adopt because a lot of the existing publishers, Activision, EA, et cetera, even Ubisoft, although I will say Ubisoft is one of the most progressive, in my opinion, most progressive game companies on the planet outside of Asia. Asia is quite progressive. Huge resistance from both the industry and the audience. The industry thought free to play was, it was too risky. As in, you previously could convince someone to buy a $60 game, spend your $60 US up front, unknowing at all how the game is going to play out. This was when journalism and reviews came through magazines, and so you had this huge lag effect of, well, I can make hundreds of millions of dollars selling a crappy game just by putting together some good assets and some good trailers, which, by the way, is in fact what's happening in NFT gaming right now, right? If for those of you who are participating in there, actually show of hands, who's bought NFTs or played NFT games? Okay, not that many. You're not too late, but congratulations on skipping a lot of the bullshit part. People just make these little trailers, and suddenly people get super excited because it's more than what most people do. That's in fact how premium games were sold. Then came franchising. Right? Now you have a system in place, you have a team, you have IP, you have a storytelling device, you have all these systems design mechanisms, and it's very easy to rinse and repeat. That's why there's 15 Call of Duties now and so many Assassin's Creeds and so on. Once there's a hit, once there's an IP hit, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Would you call it abusive? I don't know. Is it still fun? Sure. I think in many cases it's still fun, and people have an emotional attachment to that IP, and thus it's successful. But it's a very expensive system. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars marketing these games. Switch to free-to-play. Free-to-play now is free-to-play. You can jump into a game risk-free as a user, and in theory, the game companies are hoping one day that you will spend money in that game for one reason or another, the most common being cosmetics. Historically, there's been more abusive systems like pay-to-win, as in you buy golden bullets that are better than normal bullets, and the more money you spend, the higher you rank, and that's arbitrary, right? The reason to spend money is completely arbitrary. I want to be on the leaderboard in this community, right? This is a metaverse, by the way. Video games are basically metaverses, which is a very misunderstood and overabused term. So that was free to play. And but the most acceptable system as that system evolved just over the last decade, right? Really, League of Legends being the biggest free to play game on the planet outside of China, is all essentially cosmetics driven. There are some aspects of buying, items to earn experience faster and get better faster, but at a certain point, as you play the game, you can earn your way to basically being on roughly equal standing with everybody else. So the cosmetics is the system. Fortnite then followed as the next biggest one that really launched gaming into the mainstream, strictly cosmetics. You paid $9 at a time to look like Marshmallow or some other famous thing, or just some
random asset that the company Epic made. So that took 10 years for the industry to truly adopt. NFT, the Web3 is yet more confusing for many reasons. Ubisoft is getting called out largely for a lot of what's misunderstood about the blockchain space, which is energy utilization. Yes, Ethereum and Bitcoin are very expensive. They're unsustainable as a transaction mechanism for video games where you require high velocity and high volume of transactions on a daily basis if you are successful as a video game. That's both expensive for everybody, but it's also taxing on the energy system. Now you've got different proof protocols like Solana, like Polygon, like Immutable, where they're proof of stake or proof of something else that doesn't require all this compute power work to memorialize things on the blockchain. And so that's just a misunderstanding. That's a lot of marketing that's been done in the last few years about blockchain, that it is expensive and it's destroying the world. There are many other things that are destroying the world. Yes, it is contributing to that, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, that it is contributing to energy utilization. But the trade-off is the benefit. It's a new financial system that is, in theory, more fair for people, more open, more permissionless, more trusted. It is permissionless in most cases. And so that's the trade-off. But that people don't understand that side of it. So that's one thing. The other thing is it feels greedy. Just like once free-to-play and the cosmetic system really evolved, people felt it was greedy because now you can spend more than $60 playing the game. And so that's high-level detail. There's all these little nuanced things like DLC, downloadable content that premium games do to make more money, map sales, and so on, like new versions of the game, more subtle versions of the game that were for sale to make more money that were, again, I wouldn't say abusive, but the misunderstanding is that NFT is a money grab, when really, in theory, done right, you own the assets in the game. If you decide to abandon the game today in a normal game, in a free-to-play game, you lose everything. You can maybe sell the account to somebody, but that's unofficial and technically illegal by most game company standards. In the NFT world, well, if I decide I don't want to play Fortnite anymore, I can sell off individual assets to people and hopefully make my money back, or maybe even make some money on that.
So what are you doing at MetaTheory to avoid, what some gamers might view as, if it's not too strong a word, like feeling abused by the developer?
Yeah, this is the ultimate quest. I mean, I think that this is a constantly evolving thought. For now, we want to make free-to-play games. We did do an NFT drop, which means people that were supporters of ours, of our early community, that bought things from us that in theory they will use in these games in the future will benefit. A lot of the way that there's many benefits to that. Largely for now, it's community. It's getting to participate in a community. It's being able to contribute to everything from the story to game development to character creation to just what do we do as a company? And that is this really interesting difference in this world versus the previous world. I won't claim that we're perfectly decentralized as a business, right? We're still learning our way through that because the reality is building stuff is difficult. And when you have, the more voices you have when you're building something as a startup stage, the more difficult it is, right? Community by design is it just doesn't really work. But you can process the feedback. And so if you have a good feedback processing mechanism and then you can turn that into decision making, great. That's what we're trying to do. And so that is sort of the reward, so to speak, or the reason, so to speak, this early sort of membership access to this small community that is all building together. That's why you would sort of buy into some of these projects in the beginning. Now, over time, what we want to do is make free-to-play games. We want anyone to be able to come into our game and start to build up a character, build up a set of assets, and earn value over time as a result. So ground up, open to everybody. A lot of Web3 games right now are gated by pay. You have to buy. You have to buy assets in order to play at all, which is what resulted in this guild system now. So in the Web3 game world, you got the game company. Then you got what they call guilds, yield guilds. Yield guild gaming is one of the biggest. There's many, many, many others around the world. In fact, a lot of individuals are guilds. What guilds do is they buy up assets. They're basically McDonald's. They go and buy a bunch of real estate, and then they franchise you and teach you how to do the thing. And in the case of Axie Infinity, which is the first true free-to-play game that is at scale. And by the way, scale, for those of you who don't know, they transact, I think their peak transaction was almost $1 billion in a month on the secondary market. And this game the company's only about 3 years old. The game's only been popular since roughly March of this year. And so that's how fast these systems are building these days. That's how fast companies can earn revenue these days. But the point is now there's this layer of this, lending mechanism essentially that is built on top of this new type of system. I think that will work for us too, as in, we will work with guilds, we will work with guild-like systems, but for us, we are going to allow anyone to come in to play for free.
And will there be a token attached to all of this? Like, how are people going to get assets in and out?
Yeah. So right now we have one token, which is the NFT, the non-fungible token, which is the profile picture asset, as they call it, the PFP that you buy. That's the genesis. That's essentially the Kickstarter group, right? They've now come in and said, cool, we like this project, we want to support it, and they spent money to now participate in the future development of everything that we do. Yes, we will have to have a token. We will have to have a fungible token that you can earn. This is how most of these systems work right now. It is not unlike traditional games design. Traditional games in the free-to-play system have some sort of in-game currency that you use. Oftentimes you're trading fiat for, you're trading cash for, to buy in-game assets. And so we're being very thoughtful about what that systems design looks like, all the different game loops, all the different engagement points within the game, and then from there extrapolating out what is the best possible token economy system we can build on top of that.
So one of the issues with NFTs and crypto in general is assessing value, right? And it's based on demand without often an underlying real world use case or value. There is value in an asset as long as there are more and more people lining up to acquire it. So how does that work in gaming, and what happens when nobody wants to play your game anymore?
We get really sad at that point. I think that this is the ultimate question, right? I think fundamentally, successful games are fun. They're just fun. They're engaging, and they have high retention. And there are many reasons for those two things. Retention, social is a big part of it. What is that social system within the game? Is it a competitive game? Is it a cooperative game? It's funny because in this space, the hardest thing I've had to think through all this is like, you're sort of inventing an economy. Every game is inventing an economy. And so you as the game designers have to figure out, okay, what are the points in those economies? What are the actions in that world that beget currency, that beget in-game currency? It feels weird. Having played many games, I realize that as you jump into those games, you just kind of understand it. Right? Good games do a good job onboarding you onto that system so you fundamentally understand it. Meanwhile, most people in the world don't even understand how to manage their own money. Right? Basic accounting is not something most people are taught, which is weird. But video games teach you sort of, in-game money management. When do you spend to buy armor versus speed versus dexterity, right? Or a new weapon. They're very complex, actually. And so really the key is to design something that's fun around a complex system that is complex enough that it's interesting, but still easy enough to understand. And then, from there, it's really audience, it's user acquisition. How does that work? It's continued marketing. How do you keep people in the game? And that's where like those important social mechanisms come in. Is it fun? There's all these dopamine hits in games. Everything from sound effects to lighting and sort of environmental effects are really critical to that feeling of excitement in game. It's very complicated, right? Games are one of those. It's the perfect storm of everything. You need great technology. You need great art. You need great storytelling. You need great sound. It's almost a full sensory experience, minus smell-o-vision, I guess, which is maybe coming in the future. I have no idea. I don't know if I want to play a game and smell things while I'm doing it. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, it's hard. That is the hard question, and that's why of the 30,000 games or so that are made every single month and pushed to the various app stores, only a few survive.
When you announced the launch of MetaTheory, you said that Web3 is an opportunity for society to discover and embrace a new paradigm in control, access, and participation. So what is decentralization going to do for the internet?
In general, yeah. In general. I mean, this is, not to be dramatic, but this is sort of our last chance to escape this Web2 system that's gone awry, right? Right now, our phones, our computers are there to capture your attention. And there are many reasons for this, one of which is advertising. The over-reliance on advertising as a business model is causing this. Facebook, Google being the biggest culprits. They want your time. And most people know this, you don't get a lot of satisfaction from that. Sure, there's connectivity, right? There are lots of good things about the internet today in terms of communication and connection and developing online community. But there are many bad things about it. And I think that's a lot of that is related to the incentive system that we were built on. Even with Twitch, we were built originally on advertising as a revenue stream. Thankfully, because we talked to our creators, we realized that people actually would pay each other for free content. That was our biggest light bulb moment. From our creators, they said, we think because we already see this behavior, people donate to us on PayPal, on all these random widgets that break, as in PayPal, oftentimes, if you're a creator on Twitch and other places, but I'll just use Twitch as the example, you get all these donations on PayPal, and PayPal says, hey, this looks like fraud. You don't get your money. But it was real. It was people really donating them money. And so from that feedback, we decided to build the subscription system. And that's a $5 a month system. It didn't even remove ads. You still had to watch ads. But it was a patronage mechanism, right? The 90% reason why people paid $5 a month for content you could watch for free. We had nothing that was truly pay-gated. Everything on the website was free. People would pay $5 a month out of the feeling of giving back to that creator. You are my entertainer of choice. I love you. I'm excited to be part of your community. Here's my $5. And then we built a what we call bits, which is a virtual currency system. So you can now donate 1 penny at a time to a creator. And so we luckily kind of had this transitory system where we weren't overly obsessed with advertising. It's a high margin business, right? Advertising is a very high margin business for platforms, which is why it's so dominant as a business model. That's why even companies like Amazon are getting into advertising, because it is such a high margin business. But that has ruined really our experience. People get trapped in these systems. They lose a lot of their time. They're sacrificing time and often money as well, because the current internet is largely designed to keep you there, focused on whatever it is they want you to focus on, and ultimately spend money. Decentralization means that you don't have these walled gardens of information. You don't have the Googles and Facebooks of the world that are aggregating every little detail about you and reselling it to advertisers, which means that Facebook's job, Google's job, Twitter's job is to maintain you, to keep you coming every single day so that they can force your eyeballs to look at whatever it is that people who are paying them want you to look at. This is an opportunity to change that system. Crypto really is the hottest topic, I think, in the blockchain world. Blockchain is really just a data system, new data architecture. A lot of people don't talk about that. Some people are starting to build the Twitter, the Reddit, the Facebook, the X, the Web 2X of blockchain, which in theory is now built on a system that doesn't rely on advertising, because there's a natural currency system within it, or at least around it, that you can use to transact and share with. So now, if you are successful as a creator, in theory on Web3, people just give you money. People just give you tokens. You earn it by earning not attention, but more passion. Right? More like, I like what this person's saying, I like what this person's doing, I like what this person's created, just take my money directly. And you cut out all these middlemen as a result.
And how long before we see Web3 being the dominant form of the internet?
Ooh, oh gosh, a while. Well, people are building really fast. The space is moving at light speed. The problems that we're facing, that this industry is facing. I'm new to the industry, right? So I can't really, I love it, and I think the people I've met are incredibly helpful and nice, but I'm new to the industry. I'd say the problem they've been facing, and now I'm joining them in facing, is there's a lot of fraud, there's a lot of scam, and the user experience sucks. The user experience sucks. Like, buying crypto generally is not a pleasant experience. Transferring it around, even buying NFTs is just so complex. When we launched ours, I had many of my friends from the games industry and so on. It was for the first time buying Ethereum and then transferring it to MetaMask and then going to our going to the website, buying the thing. I had to literally call them. I was like, dude, it takes 15-minute phone calls. Like, here's what you do this, do that. It's like even the user experience is so basic. Even communicating with our users is hard, because Discord, for instance, is an amazing product. It is a metaverse in itself, right? These communities live and breathe in Discord, which is cool in a sense, but there's a lot of fraud there. It's an anonymous system, and so it's very easy for someone to impersonate someone else and steal all your stuff. And so you can't even message. We have to tell our users, we'll never message you within Discord. That's how basic it is, right? That's how little true, trusted technology has been built in Web3 today. The speed of development will be fast. The adoption is going to be the marketing to the mainstream to get people to trust this system that has a lot of bad press, a lot of distrust, a lot of brain damage from horrible experiences. It's getting them over the hurdle, right? And so the problem is right now in this whirlwind of money that's flowing into the blockchain space is a lot of bad actors, a lot of bad builders are just there to take money. And it's very easy to take money. If you think about it, if you want to launch an NFT in roughly a couple of days, you can pay someone on Fiverr or any other service a few $1,000s to make roughly 200 art assets, use open source software to randomize those assets onto each other as layers to make pretty pictures, and list them on the internet to sell for roughly $200 to $300 to $400 a piece. And as long as you do a good job marketing, or you know one influencer, chances are you're gonna make a couple $1 million, and then you can cut and run, and no one knows. And that is in fact most people's experience in NFTs. And the reason why NFTs are interesting is because now more than ever, people are onboarding onto crypto. Why? Celebrities are buying NFTs. Your favorite celebrity, chances are, they bought an NFT and they've marketed it. And so now, if you're an average consumer, a mainstream consumer, you're like, oh, cool, this must be like a legit thing. And that's why there's all this excitement around that. And so it's broken into the mainstream. Unlike DeFi, which is confusing, even more confusing, but people made a lot of money in it, but it also was full of fraud and scams and bad actors. But NFTs now, because it's a very understandable, almost tangible, digitally tangible object of a picture, and a club that I can join by being in this Discord with these cool people, people are starting to finally onboard. So how long? I don't know. Long-winded answer. I think within 3 to 5 years, you're going to see some really interesting stuff.
So venture capital and Wall Street, the traditional, bastions of finance, they're finally taking crypto seriously. VCs pumped around $30 billion into cryptocurrencies in 2021. That was more than all previous years combined. So have you been talking to any big names interested in throwing money your way?
Yes, I mean, I'm fortunate to be friends with many of these folks through my experience in Silicon Valley at Twitch, and many of them are investors as direct angels, not as funds. We've been talking to them. I think there's a lot of money, and VCs are deploying faster than ever. So anyone out there interested in raising money, regardless of whether you're building in Web3 or not, it's a really good time to do so. Valuations are a bit crazy, which makes it largely untenable. I think it's clearly a bubble. Most of these companies are going to fail. A lot of tokens that are launched very quickly are going to fail. But what's weird about it is, and I think the reason for the excitement and the reason why everybody and their mother has a crypto fund of some sort or another now is, if you get in at a seed round, there's a decent chance like even if you missed the mark by 10x or 100x, you're still in the black, which is very bizarre by comparison to traditional tech investing, where it's either zero or your average VC to return on an annual basis is roughly 20% or so. You can launch a meme coin in a matter of days or even hours, and get 10x that return. And so I think that's the excitement, but it's also froth. It's also kind of insane that it's happening.
And so just finally, switching things back to Taiwan, what does Taiwan need to do to play a significant role in Web3?
Gosh, where do I start? I think we talked about this earlier. I think the fundamental thing is funding. I think Taiwan has an issue with seed funding, very risk-averse culture. Very, very conservative money management culture. It's not that there isn't seed funding, but in my experience talking to entrepreneurs here, and I've been coming here my whole life, and I spent the last year here, and I've been coming here for roughly 10 years for Twitch, and I always try to meet with founders just to see what's going on. The investment landscape here, if you are successful, which is a big if, as in there's a low probability you can raise seed funding from local people, is they take too much equity. And so the expectation at a seed round is 30 to 50%, which means if and that's not even for a lot of money, that's for maybe 1 year run rate, right? That's like a $50,000 to $100,000 raise, maybe sometimes $250,000 to $300,000. But I've not heard of larger raises at the true seed stage, as in I have an idea, I have a team, we need some money to get going so we can quit our jobs, is rare. But investors are taking too much equity. I'm an investor. I would love more equity. But the reality is, if you want an ecosystem to go, people need to be motivated. And if I'm giving away 30 to 50% slug immediately, and then I'm semi-successful, which is maybe 1% of the companies will be traditionally successful, maybe 2% if you're lucky, and have good mentorship and good network and community, blah, blah, blah. Then you go raise again, you sell another 20%. Now you're at 50%. You're probably already lost the majority of your company, right? That's really demotivating. And so at a core, I think Taiwan needs to open up somehow. I don't have a clean answer for this, but if you look at Y Combinator, you look at 500 startups, you look at Techstars, you look at SparkLabs, there are these accelerator systems that have been trained around the world for years, and they take somewhere between 5 and 10%, and they give you enough money to quit your job, to actually quit your job. Sub-commentary here is a lot of entrepreneurs I find here in Taiwan are not committed. They are doing a job, and this is a side hustle. Side hustles are uninvestable for the most part, unless you are Elon Musk or Jack Dorsey, right? The rarity there is incredible. If you think you are that awesome, sorry, chances are you're probably not. And so you should focus. Can you build an awesome business if you focus? Significantly higher probability. Significantly higher probability. And you have to find co-founders. Solo founder probability, very low. You have to find co-founders that you trust, that complement you. Those are the basics. Yeah, I know we're running out of time. There's many more thoughts there, but I think for a starting position, I think that would be helpful.
Okay, well, one final question then. So is Taiwan, in your experience, a good place to hire and invest?
Oh, I've invested only for a few years here. I would say the teams here are brilliant. I think the talent here is amazing. I am excited. We're about to hire a bunch of people here for MetaTheory. We're continuing to hire here for MetaTheory, both on the blockchain side, engineering side, general engineering side, game development side, art, everything, storytelling, music. And so far the talent has been awesome. I see if a humble offer way to say it is I feel very similar to meeting all the talent I met when I got to San Francisco, and I think it's just a systems problem. It is an ambition. It's an ambition disconnect and a goal disconnect, right? And so that's what we're hoping to change here.
Kevin Lin, co-founder of MetaTheory. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Samson. Thanks, everybody.
Let's have a group photo. Can we stay a few moments and have a group photo? Thank you, guys. And let's give them a big pause again. So, thank you. So shall we come to the center together? And I would like to welcome Ecker to have the photo together. So the photographer is over there. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Samson, for a very inspiring sharing, talking about the trend, the industry, and then also the capital market, and also his personal MetaTheory hiring plans in the coming futures. So this session, after this session, we'll have a 20 minutes break. For the 20 minutes break, please enjoy the booth sessions and mingle and networking with everyone. For VIP, we have the VIP lounge. Please feel free to enjoy the food and beverage, and we'll come back at 4 sharp. Hello, hi guys, welcome back. So coming up with the second half session, so we will have 3 more pitches and 1 fireside chat. So without further ado, I want to introduce our first introducer, CC from FunNow. Let's welcome.
Hi everyone, my name is CC and I'm co-founder of FunNow. I'm also a SparkLabs Taipei Batch 1 alumni. In 2015, two one-stop online to offline platforms were launched. One is in Taipei and one is in Hong Kong. Both of the platforms aim to disrupt the traditional industries by bringing digitalization, transparency, and convenience to the industries. One platform is FunNow, which I founded. We aim to aggregate all the fragmented entertainment and leisure services platforms, service suppliers into one platform, such as hotels, restaurants, bars, massage and spa vendors. Everything you can book in one platform, in one online marketplace. The other platform, which was also founded in 2015, is HK Decoman. It is now the leading one-stop online renovation platform in Hong Kong. HK Decoman creates an O2O renovation ecosystem through its smart matching technology and e-commerce and its educational services. It also provides all-in solutions to house owners, renovation companies, and material brands. Yesterday, I talked to the founder of HK Decoman, Benny, and he told me that when he decided to start the company, he was actually struggling with his own flat renovation. And he discovered that there is a huge potential in this old industry. So he started the company, and soon after that, the business went just too well. And he got too busy, so that even until now, he still doesn't have time to finish his own flat renovation. Due to COVID-19, Benny is now still in Hong Kong and cannot be with us in Taipei right now. However, he has still a lot to share with us. So let's welcome Benny and watch his video together.
Hi everyone, this is Benny from Hong Kong, founder and CEO of HKDecoman.com. Several years ago, I was considering to refurbish my home. What came to my attention was the fragmented information in the renovation market. The lack of clear info and guidance make it extremely difficult even for people smart like me to make the right decisions. After some research, I found that this problem is universal. 80% of homeowners have to rely on family and friends' recommendations when choosing renovation company and materials due to the lack of integrated solution. On average, a person needs to spend like 10 weeks on choosing a vendor and managing the progress even every time they go through a major renovation. That got me thinking, what if we create a one-stop platform to handle all these steps? That's how HK Decoman was born. HK Decoman operates an algorithm-backed renovation project matching platform which offers smart matching and consultancy services to collect homeowners and renovation companies, helping them to match up on a project-by-project basis. To elaborate, the matching system translates complicated and abstract needs from house owner into a set of parameters, which is used for matching with the company tech set according to interviews and track record via our inbuilt algorithm. To bring people onto the platform, HK Decoman also won a content hub that contains thousands of target-oriented articles and videos, together with other intelligence to form a strong content library, which enable us to get over 80% of traffic among online renovation platforms in Hong Kong. In addition to the matching platform, the renovation user journey is further complemented by two other business units. Firstly, we have the largest e-commerce platform for renovation material in Hong Kong, with over 100 global brands offering more than 5,000 SKU. The platform offers 7x24 online shop and 7-day unmanned physical showroom O2O experience. Also, Deco Academy offers a wide range of online and offline courses, helping the public to tackle every single problem related to their home. Each of the above business units can be the entry point for our users, and all the business units synergize each other to serve the public before, during, and after renovation. Our GMV has just exited $25.6 million in this year, while the average project size is around $30,000. On average, HK Decoman help each homeowner to save up to 4 to 5 weeks and $4.5, which means around 15% of cost on renovation projects. Renovation companies are also able to reduce costs and enhance reputation by doing what they are best at, creating an all-win situation. Our annual revenue grew from $1.2 million in 2018 to $4.5 million in 2021, with around 55% CAGR. The continuous revenue growth during COVID challenge reflected our tenacity and swift response to market change. We work closely with various leading partners across the renovation ecosystem, including organizations and platforms, global brands, and media. HK Decoman is now a leader in Hong Kong's online renovation services with a market size of $1.8 billion. But we will not stop here. We are targeting the APAC renovation market, which is estimated to reach $200 billion in year 2022. We plan to bring HK Decoman's ecosystem to 5 Southeast Asian countries by 2022, and we will first launch our service in Taiwan and Singapore in March and May this year. And we have already started testing content localization and actively working with local partners. After we have built enough presence in this market, we will enter the mainland China market, expect to be in late 2023, which will further land us to a 100 times market size. With the expansion plan, we target to 5x our revenue to reach $25 million in 2023. Our award-winning team is made up of experts in various areas. I am a serial entrepreneur that co-founded a company in 2008 with presence in APAC countries and exited to GMO Internet Group in 2015. We are also backed by Cyberport 500 startup and SparkLabs Taipei to speed up our global expansion. Currently, we are actively looking for talents, investors, and ecosystem partners in Taiwan and Singapore to help us land the market strongly. To conclude, we are not a chemist, but we mix renovation with technology. We are not magicians, but we turn flat into home. I am Benny, and we are HK Decoman. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Edgar Cho, the co-founder and managing partner of SparkLabs Taipei. As a parent, we definitely experience that the kids cry all night, and actually, you don't know what's the reason. When the first time I gave Sydney, my daughter, a clothes, she wanted to wear it all day and refused to take it out. Well, what was wonder? What's the magic cloth? Surprisingly, she wants to have it so bad and just have a smile every time when she wears that cloth. This cloth with glue that kids don't want to take it off is from Baby Cool. So without further ado, let me introduce Aaron Wei from Baby Cool.
The brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me away.
Hi, I'm Aaron Wei, founder of Baby Cool. I work as a stylist for over 10 years. My job is help my client to look great and feel confident. When I became a mom, I started a children clothing brand. As a parents, we often overlook that chemical might be left on the clothes and the chemical might enter our bodies through the skin, causing the lifelong harm. Also, if the air cannot go through the clothes, it's like our skin wrapped in plastic and cannot breathe, causing the children to suffer from the redness, swelling, and itching. That's why we need more than just style. We need something even more like fundamental safety and comfort. Our mission is to make the safest and the comfortable clothes for the children around the world. We use 100% organic cotton, certified by the Global Organic Textile Standard, and include our 3D cutting and the class design. Our product line includes 3 major collections: basic, men, and luxury. Our customers love us. They often share that the only way their children can sleep all night is to wear our clothes. And our clothes are so comfortable that children refuse to take them off. Our products are recognized as world-class quality. We are the only Taiwan children clothing brand to participate in the International Fashion Week shows. We are the only Taiwanese brand to be in Printemps, the leading department store in Paris. And we are the only Taiwanese brand in Bella Vita, the iconic bespoke luxury mall here in Taipei. Our repeat purchase rate is over 70%. And our average checkout size has also grown from $90 in 2019 to $140 in 2021. Even though the retail industry has affected by pandemic in the past 2 years, we continue to grow. Our units sold increased 67% within the past year. On B2C side, we have 4 stores in Taiwan, and we will open new 2 in this year. We also partnered with a leading organic chain store, and we have online shop in several e-commerce platforms. On the B2B side, we work with a lot of channels and partners, including premium postpartum care center, international kindergartens, and many more. Besides Taiwan, China, and France market, we will expand to 8 countries across 5 continents in coming year. With the expansion plan, we target to 8x our revenue in 2023. And we plan to grow our online revenue to 35%, and the overseas revenue to over 40%. Our team concludes with industry veterans across designer, styling, and manufacturing. And we also receive strong support from our investor, advisor, and mentors. We are looking for the strategic partners from across channels, distributors, and manufacturing to grow with us. Children's smiles are our biggest motivation. We will continue to work hard on every single piece of clothes and bring baby cool to children around the world. I'm Irene Wei. We are baby cool. join us. Thank you.
Hi, it's me again. I think I'm supposed to be roughly here. Kevin Lin, co-founder of MetaTheory, co-founder of Twitch. When we created Twitch, our goal was to help anyone build a career as a content creator. In addition to being live talent, Twitch creators really did everything. They did camera and broadcast software setup, lighting, writing, editing, graphics, and more. Creators could broadcast from wherever they were, no matter what part of the world. Now, audience expectations on production value are ever increasing as more tech-savvy creators constantly innovate. Alongside this trend, streaming platforms like Netflix and Disney Plus are growing increasingly more global, triggering a rising demand in film and television production and a need for efficiency of creation, particularly in the COVID world. Imagine if film and TV production could also eliminate location limitations. This triggers not only more creation, but expanded imagination as tools become more available to more people. This next company you're going to see is an exciting one. The founder, Norman, first started building interactive experiments for psychology research, then astronaut training simulations with NASA, and now his company is transforming how we make film and television and movies. Let us welcome Norman from Glassbox.
Oh, what we're living in, let me tell ya. And it's a world that man can eat at all. When things are big, that should be small.
Hi, I'm Norman, CEO and co-founder of Glassbox. We're an award-winning film tech company based in Hollywood. When we say Hollywood, we tend to think of big movies, big stars, and big box offices, but we rarely think about what makes it all possible. On my first project there, I had the opportunity to collaborate with some of the original teams on Avatar, and I was immediately captivated. Not by the glamour or the razzle-dazzle, but by the process where we came together to create cutting-edge technologies so that filmmakers could tell stories that could not have been told if these technologies did not exist. Before COVID shut down the cinemas, Hollywood was already going through some changes. Instead of blockbuster movies, the focus has been shifting to episodic series produced by the streaming platforms. And this billion-dollar content race has caused the industry to undergo some dramatic changes. We now need to make more content in less time with a smaller budget. And this is before we factor in the effects of COVID. So Hollywood has adopted a new way, a more efficient and more virtual way of content creation called virtual production. Virtual production was a technology originally created for Avatar. And in short, it uses technology to virtualize filmmaking. Instead of physical cameras and physical actors working on physical sets, we're now using virtual cameras and virtual actors on virtual sets. This new way of working allows pre-production, production, and post-production to happen all at the same time, greatly reducing cost. This particular virtual way of content creation has transformed Hollywood, and in just a couple of years, almost every major production now uses virtual production in some way. This all sounds pretty good, right? So what's the problem? The problem is there's a lot more to filmmaking than just Hollywood. And as creators around the world are facing the same problems, they're also adopting the same technology. However, Hollywood has spent the past 20 years and tens of millions of dollars in investment figuring out the best way to virtualize filmmaking. And we're seeing the worrying trend where teams around the world who are adopting this technology for the first time are wasting a lot of efforts reinventing the wheel and rediscovering solutions to problems that we have already solved. Should the rest of the industry go through the whole process all over again? Or perhaps there's a better way? Our answer is democratization. We have created a suite of virtual production software tools that are based on real production experiences, but also designed specifically to be accessible and also to improve efficiency. And we're making it available to filmmakers around the world as a subscription. One of the areas in which our tools can bring the most benefit is in an area called shot tracking. Shot tracking refers to the process of tracking and managing changes that a film crew has made to a set for a particular shot. Our tool automates this traditionally very manual and error-prone process so that we can greatly increase productivity while reducing crew costs by as much as 50%. We released our tool first in 2019, and due to the pandemic, we saw immediate and explosive growth, allowing us to become cash flow positive in just 2 years. And we expect to continue growing at a CAGR of 52% through 2024. Our tools are used by over 100 studios around the world, and they range from some of the biggest Hollywood studios to small independent creatives, all of whom are working on innovative and cutting-edge productions. Just 2 weeks ago, we completed our first major project in Asia, in which we helped Shixin University build out a state-of-the-art LED virtual production facility, one of the most advanced of its type in Asia. My co-founder and I met during the VR boom in 2015. At the time, I was a managing director at one of the foremost VR companies in Australia, and we were just approached by HTC for seed investment. And Mariana, she was leading the entire VR product portfolio at the Foundry. We founded Glassbox in 2016 with a shared vision of transforming filmmaking, and our innovation enabled us to win the prestigious Lumiere Entertainment Technology Award in 2019. We're now a global team headquartered in Hollywood, and with an office in Germany, Australia, and as of last year, Taiwan. We're backed by investors such as Alibaba Entrepreneur Fund, W.I. Harper, CBD Capital, SparkLabs Taipei, and HTC ViveX, who is our first investor and has been working closely with us since the very beginning. I'm very happy to take this opportunity to announce that we and HTC will be entering into a formal partnership where we'll be working together to bring a new line of virtual filmmaking tools to market. It is our belief that there is a natural-born storyteller in each and every one of us, just waiting for the right moment to unleash our creativity. We're looking for partners and investors who can help us on our next stage of growth, where we'll be setting up a permanent presence in Asia, and so that we can better engage with local content, local productions, and local industries. We're Glassbox, I'm Norman. Join us in enabling a new generation of storytellers. Thank you very much.
All right, so it's the final sessions. I bet everyone is very excited that we'll be able to have the 4 distinguished guests for this panel. So for this session, we're not serving anything, but we are providing a lot of the food and fine dining industry trend and inspiration for everyone. So without further ado, I would like to invite our moderator, Jerry, and our Florence from Robuchon, Richie from Yume Hospitality Group, and last but not least, Jason from JustKichen. Let's give them a big pause. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we have Florence from Robuchon Taipei, and we have Richie from Mume Hospitality Group, and Jason from JustKichen. I think after COVID hit us, it changed the industry a lot, F&B industry. There are a lot of challenges, and there are a lot of new changes. So today, we would like to share that thought with you from very different perspectives. So without further ado, let's talk about yourself first. So maybe Florence?
Yeah, maybe I can start, yeah. So, yeah, my name is Florence. I'm the chef de cuisine of l'Atelier Robuchon. So, fine dining restaurant, so something different than takeaway, but we was also, in fact, by different things that we talk later on, I believe. And then that's it, I think, pretty much for now. So, Richie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Richie. Thanks for having me here. Very similar to Florence, we're in the restaurant business, and we started our first restaurant about 8 years ago, and we slowly going into a small size group that we have 4 restaurants across Taipei, and then we have we just launched our e-commerce last year, and we did trial for 2 virtual brands last year. That's about it. And I'm the chef and the founders of the group. Thanks for having me.
Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Jason. I'm with JustKichen, and we're ghost kitchen operators. So we build a network of kitchens in Taiwan and Hong Kong presently. So we don't, what makes us different is we build our own kitchens, we operate our own kitchens. We don't rent them out to people, so we're not in the cast model. So that's one side of it. And on the other side of the spectrum, we're also content owners of virtual brands. So we have a portfolio of our own proprietary brands, as well as we have partnership brands that we work with enterprises on. And so we have a portfolio of very diverse self-owned and also partnership brands. So we're both content and infrastructure.
Yeah, so maybe we can talk about the challenges that we are facing right now and how you turn them into opportunities. What is the biggest challenge right now?
For my part, I was just back to Taipei at l'Atelier when there's the COVID's coming, and then we have to facing this situation. So basically that our challenge was, of course, like we have a lot of foreigners who come to our restaurant before, which is not, they cannot coming back since they shut down all the cities and everything. So our first challenge was like how to retain our current customer, how to find a new customer, and then keep those consistency and all those things that we need to make sure it's gonna work to maintain a level at l'Atelier Robuchon as a fine dining. So it was pretty challenging at this time. Like I was new on board, and at the meantime we have to face things that big challenge. It was like a lot, but after all, we managed well, I believe. So that's it. Maybe
Richie, you have anything to share?
I mean, it's interesting because I think F&B, I can't speak for the whole F&B industry, but it obviously depends on which market segment you're in. But I mean, for fine dining, we're really not the most tech-driven industry. We actually, in fact, seldom use that much technology in our operations. I think a big part of it because we are operating in a smaller scale in comparison to maybe like a chain restaurant. So the fine dining business model are quite niche and small in scale. So most of the technology that we leverage is more on the marketing side. For me, technologies are used mostly for solving a problem. If we have a problem in the business in the nature of business that we wanted to solve, then we will find technologies or solutions that we could leverage to use to tackle it. But also there's also the trade-off. If we are using labors, if it's cheaper, because in Taiwan, if you compare to a lot of Asian countries, the labor cost is still on the lower end. And if a lot of tasks can be solved by humans, not necessarily more expensive, then we will probably choose to do it a very traditional way. So that is the thing for operating in fine dining business is more. I think a lot of the tech is based on the scalabilities of bigger chains and bigger groups of restaurants that they could leverage, and so so we use most technology in the marketing and how to connect to the customers. That is for us most how we use technologies to our businesses. Yeah, I think Jason could share more on that side because the business model is quite different than me and Florence is. We're all in the F&B, but the nature of business is quite different.
Yeah, I mean the COVID situation. I mean it's challenging in just so many ways for I think everyone. But for the delivery business, I mean, they certainly gave it a huge boost. Restaurants traditionally are growing. Usually, brick and mortar restaurants traditionally grow at 3 to 4% a year. Delivery business was growing at 7 to 8%, sort of double that. But since the pandemic, I mean, I think some more mature delivery markets were going at 4x, up to even 7x. So in this environment, it wasn't really a challenge for us. It really kind of boosted our growth. We started our first delivery back in March 2020 at our first kitchen, and then now we're up to around 30 kitchens now. So that that in that sense has really sort of boosted our growth into Taiwan and into Hong Kong. But the challenges, I mean, still does exist because now we're looking to expand throughout, Southeast Asia, taking some of our virtual brands abroad. So the traveling aspect of it certainly has been challenging, and of course staffing is always a challenge. So, it's the positive, for us, I think, in terms of the business growth, I think has outweighed the negatives of sort of the last 2 difficult years we had to endure.
Lucky you.
Well, I don't want to claim luck on that.
Yeah, so I would like to talk about virtual brands. So you talk about, JustKichen has own virtual brands, also partner brands, right? We noticed that, in the US, a lot of the chain restaurants actually come up with their virtual brands, and some YouTuber also come up with their own brands, and those brands are very, very successful. I know JustKichen just recently brought in a few very famous brands from US, like Mr. Beast, and Another Wing by DJ Khaled. So maybe you can share some of the insight of that, and then maybe we can also check with Florence or Richie. Do you have chef friends that are actually thinking of getting into this virtual brand market and maybe come up with a more casual, delivery-friendly kind of concept? So, Jason.
Sure. Yeah. No. We recently launched the 2 sort of internet or social media inspired brands and celebrity endorsed brands, as Jerry had mentioned, and it's met with pretty good success. And I think it's all about virtual brands. I think it's all about sort of the market you can address. The Virtual Dining Concepts is a company in the US. I think they've recently teamed up with TikTok. I think that's a really interesting thing. It's a whole new way of marketing. A concept. What kind of concept? And I think the key thing is sort of the agility of being able to go virtual and changing your menu, changing your sort of menu construction, menu engineering. All the way up to the brand of it itself, how quickly you can change and how dynamic you can be to your target audience. I think that's really the power of virtual branding. But at the end of the day, I mean, coming back, it's still food at the end of the day. So, when you have these virtual brands that are backed by celebrities and stuff, sometimes they're not, the best recipes. So I think at the end of the day, you really do have to deliver a good product to the consumer, or else you're just not going to have any. You're not going to have longevity in the brand success itself. So, it gets you access to a huge new market, but I think at the end, the concept has to be well received and the food has to be good. I think that's the ultimate sort of result you gotta be driving for.
I think, yeah, for us, the biggest, I mean, we have a chance at the beginning when they shut down the border that we was, let's say, the lucky things we have, like we was one of the only French fine dining in Taipei. So, like, people cannot travel anymore. They say that they come more often than before. So that's why we can keep. But our biggest challenge, I think, in my opinion, that we never developed those kind of food before at L'Atelier Robuchon, which is a delivery food. So beginning we was not ready, and then after we start to work on delivery food, like how we can bring fine dining experience to the home of people, which was not easy, like in terms of packaging, how they're gonna read and all those things. So there is those kind of activity we try to put in place, like how to prepare stuff and how to like create kind of activities for people, how to read, how to assemble on the plate, and that's what we try to do. But we realize that the takeaway food is not so easy also to maintain the quality and to bring the best to the home of people in terms of fine dining is not that easy. So I think it was the biggest challenge for us, like traditional fine dining with not so many support of technology at L'Atelier was something totally new, but interesting. Yeah. You also open a lot of doors, so now we may want to develop some different market, which I think is a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it is still F&B, like takeaway, delivery, and in-room dining, especially in fine dining. But ultimately, I think it's based on a very different business model. We did actually try a few things last year, and to be very honest, brutally honest, that is based on survival rather than to be like if we have a actual plan to explore. Obviously, there's a big market for delivery and takeaway, but and we can see dramatically the consumer behavior is changing so much in the last couple of years. But for us, it wasn't that easy to make a big change because naturally, I think, like we said earlier, right? Like we were chatting earlier with Jason. I think most restaurants are designed in a way that is not focusing on doing both things. So like your whole structures, your layout, your inventory, your system. So the whole restaurants is based on dine-in. Most of the time, it was based on that business model. And if you wanted to add something, another business model, which is takeaway or food delivery, in existing business model, you're always going to create conflicts. And in that sense, which is most restaurants doing right now. And also another thing is takeaway business has such a thin. I don't know if there's any F&B industry people here, but like if you know that takeaway F&B business has a super thin margin level, like almost single digit or like, yeah, even less than that. Like, so if you don't work in such a large scale or a high volume, it's almost worthless to do it. So I mean, so that's why last year we all know that we are level 3 and we are banned from in-house dining. So we have to do something to be able to keep our staff and keep the business going. And so we were kind of like just trying as we go. And yeah, we launched our e-commerce last year, which actually surprisingly did very well. And we're going to continue to do so, and to find ways to leverage our existing restaurants' space and time to add value and to come up with new concepts and products and sell it in different channels and platforms. I think that is the biggest challenge for us last year, to create something from without having to increase our investment. So like we have to create value out of the existing resources that we have. So that was the biggest challenge for us.
The challenge also at this time was like basically we don't do takeaway, and as I understand, you don't do takeaway as well. But the market was already there because some industry do already takeaway. The challenges was also for us that we all start those takeaway at the same time. So the market was struggling. It was not easy to create a difference, and then I get at this time that we may want to looking for some tech support, some technology who can help us to develop the market on that way. But at this time it was not easy to sell because we all get the same, we all deliver the same offer, pretty much the same, of course with different, like because fine dining or different kind of cuisine. But some people also give some discount and everything, so it was not that easy also to be on the market at this time.
Yeah, I mean, what we found is obviously, fine dining is, it's about the experience. It's about, the quality of a sort of a dining room experience. And truth be told is, I mean, some of it just can't be replicated. And it's not, some things are just not meant for delivery. But I think, with virtual concepts and branding, I think that, there lies something interesting of going sort of online and then taking it sort of offline. So a lot of chefs are creating sort of spin-off brands that are maybe just geared for delivery, and then trying that menu out. And there's a hot wings company in Hong Kong, and they started out on the Deliveroo platform, and they were doing so well, then they became physical stores afterwards. So I think that's something that's kind of interesting with virtual sort of branding. You can be it as a market tester to go into a new market, or you can be a proof of concept. If it works out, then you can make it into a physical store. So I think you guys should maybe write a cookbook that's geared just for delivery, and then we'll deliver it for you guys.
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So actually, I think I can speak a little for the casual dining space. So last year, 2021, when we were locked down, at Fridays, we're trying to launch our own virtual brands called Evo Chicken. We did it for a couple months. Sales pretty slow compared to our own business. But after the government lifted the restriction and the business back, then it's hard for the team to actually operate on both things because they are so used to make Friday's food. So sometimes it's very difficult for them to actually switch to another virtual brand. So my question next is, if looking into the future, do you think by changing the layout of a restaurant will help us to do both at the same time? Or you think this is almost impossible? We just let Jason do the virtual brand?
Well, I'm going to say it's impossible because I don't want any competition. But no, but I think a lot of, I'll jump in on this. A lot of like QSRs and sort of fast casuals, they've already gone into the, they know that because so much of the market is now in delivery that they have to consider it as a part of their business plan. So the likes of like Burger King and Wendy's, they're going into countries with obviously physical restaurants, as we've known them before, and they're also doing, just online delivery only sort of dark kitchens too. Even I think McDonald's has started that, a sort of a concept ghost kitchen store in the U.S. somewhere, I think. So I think it's the market is growing. The delivery market is grown to the size where it just can't be ignored. So I think adoption is much easier for like a QSR and a fast casual. Like I mentioned, Burger King. I think their new concept is fewer seats, 60% less sort of physical space, but pushing with their data, knowing where to put their stores, pushing for takeaway and pushing for delivery, and also have a smaller dining seating area that caters to that as well. So I think a lot of guys are building kitchens to suit that. But as you guys mentioned earlier, it is difficult because I think having the kitchen construction of a brick and mortar restaurant, versus something that you want to, you're getting a delivery order once every 60 seconds to sort of be able to push, product out as fast as, 3 to 5 minutes. I think the kitchen construction is very different. So I think it's difficult for existing kitchens to try to do both. The last thing you want to do is you wouldn't want to interrupt your dine-in experience because that's really your bread and butter. And that's not no pun intended. But so I think it does require a new kitchen construct to be able to facilitate both. And I think definitely a lot harder for a fine dining restaurant to have that kind of a kitchen because it just doesn't, it's hard to cook sort of in that new environment. But yeah, no, I think the QSRs, the fast casuals, are already doing it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about technology. I know for fine dining, there's not so much we can really use, but maybe we can think, what kind of technology that you would like to have to help you in the future. Maybe, for fine dining, maybe it's on the marketing. I'm sure for Jason's space, I think you need a lot of technology. So maybe Richie can talk about, on the marketing side, if you have the opportunity to ask for some technology support, what kind of technology that you would like to have?
Yeah, I think I can speak for my case. Yeah, like I said before, I think we're trying to use technology to solve some problem that we have, and one of the biggest challenge and problem that we have in fine dining is because we are operating each outlet in such a small scale to be able to control the quality. So usually you don't see like fine dining restaurant with over like 100 seats, right? Usually it's a small restaurants, 30 to 40 seats or 50 maximum, and then but each spending per head is quite high, maybe 3,000 to 5,000 per head. So we have a big problem if people just make a reservation and not show up because the ingredients is 30 to 50% off the cost. So and for operation like us, we don't keep anything overnight. So if we can't sell it, then we're gonna throw it in the bin. So that was one of the biggest problem in the fine dining industry for years. So when we first opened, we also faced the same problem 8 years ago. So we trying to find a solution, a reservation system that we could leverage, and challenge that no show and people not coming. So we find a system that we could use to have a deposit. So we used Stripe at that time for the payment system, which is we couldn't find anything in Taiwan at that time. Now, of course, there are multiple startups and brands that they're doing a reservation system with all this setup. But 7-8 years ago, there was none. I was literally the first one to ask them to implement a system from the Hong Kong office, bring it to Taiwan, so we can use it, and to first of all to be able to make sure that all our guests that make the reservation will show up, and if they don't do so, at least we have the ability to charge them a certain amount of fees. That was one way that we use, and we continue to develop that system. And so we have a big data system that we become very useful when I launched the e-commerce platform, and mostly for the marketing side, how we connect to our customers, how we engage them, and I would like to see more technology that is developed in this space to maybe to let us connect with social medias, and because the information is so scattered around right now. Like we have people trying to contact you through like Instagram, Facebook, email, call in, walk in. Like I mean, you can't just have one person working there and just trying to take reservation. It becomes like quite a big problem. So like I would love to see more technology that solve the problem of gathering more information together, bringing the efficiency up. I think that would, yeah, that would be good to see in the fine dining area. Yeah, I think definitely will be more application or adoption for technology in Jason's side.
So Florence, you have anything to
no,
share?
but we're talking about
yeah.
those topics just previously, so I totally agree with Richie that the no-show in the restaurant is also one of the biggest problems now in the, and especially for fine dining, because it's difficult to get last reservation booking. So we lost money at the end of the day. After, in terms of technology, I like the way also that I say maybe they can, if someone here can do that, to create a app maybe for the sourcing. Like sourcing, like sometimes there is a product, like especially in Taiwan, so we have farmer, fishing, and all those kind of things, and then sometimes we say, oh, we import product from France or Japan, which sometimes is not necessary, but there is a lake of information between those suppliers and our restaurant, so we sometimes we hear and we need it, they have the product, but we don't know each other, so it will be nice to have an application maybe to connect those both industry together. And for the sourcing, otherwise I don't think that's much for our fine dining industry.
Yeah, it's more like a B2B marketplace.
Yes, like B2B, you know, like it's mostly like whole style for us. It's like a chef knows the people, and then it works like that for the moment. So
I know I met a team in Taiwan that they're actually doing that for all the vegetables.
Yeah.
I think that's quite interesting.
I met one people like that. I mean, not one people, but one company do the sourcing now in Taipei. Like we go to Taitung for a filming 3 weeks ago, and I meet them, and then I will start to move with them to do some local searching. It's also because, of course, there is a big environmental impact that import everything which is not necessary.
Yeah, one of the problems with this B2B marketplace is they are changing the whole industry dynamics. So sometimes after that meeting last time, I was actually I'm worried for the guy, you know, because you are taking some of the profit from some of the guys, so maybe sometimes it's dangerous for him. Anyway, so Jason, so you want to talk about the technology that you want at your space?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you know, for our space, I mean, it's everything sort of going back, you know, to, you know, delivery used to just be pizza and Chinese food, right? And, you know, you dial up a phone and you get the restaurant. But, you know, ever since it's the app that made it user friendly, and then the tech enabled sort of delivery network. It really kind of sort of brought this market as we know it today sort of came into being. So, you know, technology is sort of the core essence of what it is that we do, or technology enablement. So yeah, for us, you know, we've built out of necessity that, because we've got 30 brands, 30 plus brands that we're managing on a content level. And then so we need it for training, for SOP purposes, for integration with, you know, driver networks, the likes of Uber Eats, Foodpanda, because, you know, it's hard to manage. I'm sure you guys have seen in restaurants, you know, you get one pad for one brand, and we, you know, for us, we would have, you know, 30, 40 brand, you know, pads. Certainly, it's not very user friendly for our staff. So we've built a sort of a content management platform that integrates all the orders, all the delivery platforms into one. All our brands on the platform that we can manage. You know, put discounts, menu changes, you know, all that kind of stuff. So that's one side of it. And then obviously to be able to scale into different countries, you know, we need a very standardized training SOP system. So we put everything, you know, our training system is cloud-based, video, you know, build charts, recipes, so that, you know, what we're doing in Taiwan is the same as you know, it's what's being done in Hong Kong, what will be done in the Philippines or Malaysia, you know, wherever we go. So that, you know, that's a very important part for us. But on the another side of it is, you know, we integrate our ERP system into our platform. So we know that what's being ordered in the kitchen in Bade and what's being ordered and being used in the kitchen in Xingyi. So having that ERP sort of management system is important to us as well. But that also goes to sort of wastage, right? Because we can manage sort of first in, first out. We can reduce our food wastage. We could try to source better. Get our cost efficiency down. So yeah, no, I mean these are all things that we need, and certainly to have it, in a very usable one single platform to be able to take and then uplift it from Taiwan and put it into Hong Kong, into Philippines, into other countries we want to go into, and have it sort of turnkey ready to go. I think that's something that we're coming close to of completing. And then I think the next step would be obviously to have this platform and manage all these brands, and the ability to give it to restaurant, a Chinese restaurant in San Francisco that may want a Taiwanese brand because their kitchen equipment's sort of laid out, very suitable for it, so they can get the incremental sort of revenue from extra 15 to 20 orders on a virtual brand basis. Going back to that topic. So these are the technologies that we're developing, and certainly you'll help us scale globally. So that's something that really is helpful to us.
Yeah, thank you. So I think another area that I would like to talk about regarding the technology is really on the marketing side. I think for most F&B industry companies, they are not big, they're not huge. They don't have a big marketing team. For example, for my company, Casual, we have 4 people in the marketing department. And then we do some marketing, we do some campaigns on social media, but we don't know whether that is effective or not. And not everyone is super familiar with tools like Google Analytics and things like that. So maybe if in the future there's an app or there's a technology that can help us to actually look into the data and tell us what it means, I think that would be very, very useful for all restaurants. I think that's something that we'll love to see in the future. Agree?
Yeah, I agree. Even for fine dining, I think like we don't have those big structure with a lot of marketing team, HR, and all those things. Especially when if you go for a hotel, you have those structure like marketing team, HR team, and all those team that we know, IT team. But if you go for one single small restaurant, you don't have all those things. So the support of one hub or technology will help a lot to combine all those things. For sure, will be very.
How many
helpful.
people you have in your kitchen?
14. Yeah,
14?
But we manage one fine dining restaurant in the 5th floor in Bella Vita, and the 3rd floor we have also the Salon Té, with the slightly different offer, but still 100% and French, and then one boutique in Sogo. So we need to have our marketing and all those things is not, I believe, strong enough to approach and reach new customers. So it will be very helpful.
Okay, thank you. So Richie, so a question here. So last year, of course, we were forced to do something, right? So you decided to go on the e-commerce side. You have your own frozen products. Why at that time? Why did you choose that direction and not the dark kitchen model?
In fact, I did try both. So. But of course, I look at the numbers and the amount of resources that we have to put in to maintain and to have a sustainable growth, because I don't want to just do it for like 2 months and then shut it down. Like for us, we clearly see the restaurant business F&B is going into very different direction. One big part is based on food delivery and technologies that driven those demand. So what are we going to do if we just focus on in-house dining restaurants, and if COVID hits again and we have to shut down, we have like zero income. So for us to diversify our portfolio or income revenues, there are ways that we do really have to develop in a long-term scale. I think so. For us, we are just kind of trying everything and see which one works best for us. I think it is different for every company, and of course, when you're working in a smaller scale, I think it's difficult because it's an interesting discussion that we just had because, like Jason was saying, like most of the technologies that is driven around F&B is mostly for scalability purposes, like integrations, like supply chain, ERP, all this. Like, if you only have like 3 or 4 restaurants, or if you only have 1 restaurant, like there's no point in like adopting all this like technology into your business, because it costs more to hire just 1 guy to do it, right? Like, it's no point. Even if you have like maybe 3 or 4 restaurants, you probably still have to work on the numbers to see if it's worthwhile to implement such a system into your business. So it's like, for us, it's always like a constant battle, like, okay, so what are we going to do if we're gonna kind of like hedging the risk of in-house dining? On the other side is all the non-in-house dining, so we're trying to use all our existing restaurant space, that the off time that we have, because we already paid all the rents, we already paid for all these basic costs, and we're gonna use all the off time to make products and then to maximize our e-commerce platform. And we did a lot of collaboration with different channels, like PC Home, we did with them, Green and Save, one of the biggest probably e-commerce food platform that you can order frozen food, fresh food, whatever. So like we do a lot of this collaboration with bigger brands, so that we can quickly gain awareness in the market, and also I think in the process that we see it more as like a learning process that we have last year, because out of necessities, but after I think a couple months, that clearly takeaway is it's difficult to operate in our existing resource and businesses. Like, I think the business model is very different. The margins are thin, unless you're operating in a very big scale, or if you have plans to be able to scale rapidly, exponentially. If you don't, then I don't see it to be a sustainable business model, that once the restaurant reopen, and that will be even a more difficult decisions to be like, oh, should I do it or not? Like, because you are already invested in it. So for us, it's clearly easier and more cost-effective to run commercialized products like frozen foods, brands that already exist. That there are new brands that we created, and also there's existing brand from our restaurants that we could do frozen packs, desserts that we come up with a new brands of a range of dessert that we're doing, and then a lot of products that are based on festivals or seasons, and so we're going to continue to develop that e-commerce platform, and that will be one of our better, for us in our case, that will be a much more cost-efficient business model to be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think we're running out of time, but before we end, I would like to maybe share some of the fact that I learned from that virtual brand. Can I say the name of the virtual brand that you? I did say it, right? Mr. Beast.
You get in trouble, not me. So say it.
Okay. All right. So this is very interesting. So Mr. Beast. I'm sure some of you guys probably know him. He's a very famous YouTuber. He has 85 million followers on YouTube. So in 2020, early 2020, he launched his burger brand. So after, I think only after a year, he has 1,000 locations around the world selling his burger. So I think this is an amazing model, and then he only has one physical store. The rest is with all the dark kitchen around the world. So I think this is a very, very interesting idea. Actually, there's someone that actually asked me if he can do that in Taiwan as well. So I think that's a very interesting fact. So I just want to share with you before we end here. So thank you for your time, and I hope you guys find it interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for our four distinguished speakers and moderators. Can we hold the steps and have a group photo in front of the stage? So, Jerry, Florence. So, Florence, do you mind we take a group photo here? So can we step forward a little bit? Yes, please. Thank you. So Edgar together. So our photographer is over there. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you all of you to stay at the very end of our SparkLabs Taipei Demo Day 6. I hope you enjoy all the pitches from SparkLabs Taipei Batch 6 founders. Again, our vision and mission is to help Taiwanese founders to go global. If you want to support our vision or you want to connect any of the teams today, feel free to let us know. If you want to back our vision by partnering up with us, also come to us. Again, thanks a lot for government, investors, big corporate executives, and most importantly, I think the friends and family of all the founders. I think that's super important that to have your support. So if you are a startup founder and want to be part of our family, come and apply to our Batch 7. I think we will see each other again in our next Demo Day. SparkLabs Taipei Demo Day 7 will be hosted in August this year. See you in August. Thank you again.